Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this video on how to find out the proportion of a population would have a certain trait given the percentages. So I've just set up a very simple cross using a Punnett square, and so you'll see over here I've got two heterozygous organisms are crossed in the Punnett square, and we've taken the each allele and we've put them on the sides of the Punnett square in order to make sure that we've got their alleles being crossed out. And I've gone and I've made up the genotypes now in order to show what our possibilities would be for our outcomes. So the question here is, if 80 offspring were created from this cross, how many should be homozygous recessive? And so the one that we're looking for homozygous recessive is going to be this guy down here. It's homozygous because it's got two of the same and it's the recessive trait. So the first step that we always want to do is we want to take our proportion, in this case it's 1 out of 4, and we want to turn that into our decimal number. So typically what we would do is we take the top number and divide it by the bottom number, and in this case we'll get 0.25. Now if we were creating a percent, we would typically in the next step take that decimal, multiply it by 100 because percent's out of 100 things. But in this example, we've only got 80 things. So this method that I'm going to show you now will work no matter how many items you're applying this proportion to. What we'll do is we're going to take our decimal number that we created in step 1, and we're just going to multiply it against however many things we're looking to make our prediction about. In this case, it's 80 offspring. So if I do that multiplication, I should get an answer of 20. The last thing we want to do in a step like this is we want to make a concluding statement. So I would say, therefore, we would expect 20 homozygous recessive offspring. So this method will work no matter what the number of offspring or what your proportion is. Again, we're going to start by taking our proportion and converting it to 0.25. We're going to take that number and multiply it against the number that we're making our prediction about, and then we're just going to make a concluding statement. So that's our lesson on how to use our proportions to make predictions on a population.